So good evening. My name is Charlie Bueller, the Executive Director here at IPR, and I would like to welcome everyone joining us to our summer and fall 2020 commencement ceremony. I'm really honored to be here with you all this evening. As most of you know, I'm relatively new to IPR, but I'm not new to commencement ceremonies, and I think we can all agree this one is a little bit different than maybe what you've envisioned when you started your journey with us. I suppose in the beginning, when you heard that we were creative and we could adapt to the needs and demands of the time, you probably didn't expect to see it play out this way, particularly in your final quarters and especially at your graduation. As you thought about what your final quarter was going to look like, you most likely thought it would be a little different than what you experienced. I think we all did. Though, as you've learned through your studies, and we all know from industry and life itself, things don't always go as planned. We too often allow ourselves too much time thought about the bad and not nearly enough thinking about the good. Let's be real, 2020 has been full of some really awful things, but there have been some great things that have happened this year, and tonight is truly a prime example of that. I believe that in times like these, when good things happen in our lives, they're truly good things, and we really need to embrace them. You getting to your graduation is truly a good thing. And in fact, it's downright amazing. It's tough to see all that is going on and look at an uncertain future and still celebrate, but you need to. You need to allow yourself to feel the joy and feel a sense of accomplishment, because I know that all of us here at IPR feel that for you. So tonight is a bit about looking back, but it's also about looking forward. And I know from my own academic experience, you probably haven't had a chance to do much of either of those during your studies. You're always in the moment. You're working on what's right in front of you. So tonight, I want you to think about where you are right now and how you got here. Take a moment to soak in what you've accomplished and dream about what you're going to do in your future. On behalf of the staff and faculty here at IPR, let me be the first this evening to congratulate you on your amazing accomplishment. And I have the privilege tonight of introducing this evening's commencement speaker, Richard Hansen. Richard is the co-founder of the Northern Film Alliance, which is a partnership of film festivals in the northern region of the United States. Its mission is to support the goals of its member festivals while serving as a conduit for film exhibition, education, and production. Richard also founded the Duluth Superior Film Festival, which has developed an exemplary reputation for presenting a distinctively imaginative and diverse lineup of international, American independent, and regional films. I'm grateful for him taking his time tonight to join us, so please join me in welcoming Richard.
Thank you. So thank you very much, and good evening, and congratulations to the 2020 IPR graduating class. I know I'm not saying anything here that hasn't already been said about a million times, but weird year, right? I know you're just cruising right along, taking your classes like normal, entering your final year, and wango. Suddenly all your classes are on Zooms or Teams or chats or whatever. And now all you get is this weird digital graduation, a lousy economy, and what probably seems to you to be a dismal future job outlook. Thanks a lot, 2020. But here's the thing that you most likely can't see, and that only time will reveal. Having spent quite a few of my last 30 years in your chosen industry, the way I see it, 2020 may have actually taught you one of the most underrated and important lessons about how to be successful in this field. COVID has taught you the unwelcome lesson of resiliency. Right now, you're probably staring at your prospects and thinking, how in the F did I get so unlucky? I'm not 100% certain and don't believe anyone who ever tells you that they are, but I'm going to bet on this country figuring out how to overcome this crisis, but all the while continuing to lean on the many media technologies you and your class have come to know better than just about anybody else. Dudes like me, even though I've come to understand just about all the cool toys and gadgets and tools that are required of my profession, have become to be known as digital immigrants. We had to cross the divide of the days and times of analog. You, my young friends, are digital natives. That phone, that computer, that camera, you were born with it. You innately know how to use all the equipment of the future. And all of you in this group have uniquely positioned yourself to know it even better than anyone else. You went to school to learn more about it. You got to keep it in your hands for a longer period of time than anyone else in your peer group. We Gen Xers are pretty good with our technology, but we sure as hell aren't interested in taking it to the next level. And also, okay, boomer, just slide over. You're going to have to fix that for them. The youngsters have got this much better than anyone fully yet understands. And that is precisely the reason we are going to need you. And now, with all this COVID business, you've been taught to bounce. That kind of bounce equals resiliency. It's going to serve you really well. And don't worry, it isn't that far away. Here comes another example of me not telling you something that you don't already know. But this is something that almost all people automatically forget. So remember, and it's important to say the word remember, because remembering is always a more brilliant experience than not forgetting. But remember that failure is not the opposite of success. That thought isn't for me. That one comes from Bill Gates. Those two things, failure and success, are not opposite sides of the same coin. They actually run pretty close in parallel with each other. If you are experiencing a path of failure, it's probably most likely because you just need to make a step to the left or to the right to get onto the path to success. They're both running in the same direction, and most of the time, a hard right-hand turn is not required. The truly tricky part is that the path of failure and the path of success look a lot alike. Wisdom is when you get the sense from experience on when to veer just a bit to avoid either a collision or some sort of pitfall. Your career is a lot like video games in that way. Probably learned a lot about video games during your quarantine days at IPR, but keep going. Remember where you fell the last time you did this and turn just enough at the very precisely right moment. That is the difference between success and failure. I'm going to throw in my last favorite quote from a famous person that helped me learn about resiliency and to get on down the correct path. Winston Churchill once said, "When you are going through hell, keep going." At this moment, pandemic seems a lot like hell. You don't get to hang out with any of your friends, and you have to worry about work, and you probably have too much of that student loan thing, and maybe your folks are still kind of on your case about this whole choice of industry. And if you weren't born rich, you might not even have a car or anything good to eat. It all can seem pretty daunting if you just sit around and stare at it. You might be inclined to just try and sit tight, ride it out by digging in and doing nothing. Don't be tempted, because the only way to get through this is to keep moving. This is not going to be the last time you have to suffer through some serious BS. Learn the lesson COVID is teaching you. Maintain resiliency. Don't stop here. Keep going. I also just want to point out that just about everything I've talked about here so far tonight has been a topic or a concept or a phrase that I've borrowed from somebody way smarter than me. I did not come up with any of these words of wisdom. I'm just using them to my best advantage. I've heard these things, I learned these things, I've internalized these things, and now I'm just telling them back to you. I've never really been a particularly creative person. I can't take a picture. I've never directed a movie. I have a terrible singing voice, and my screenplays all suck. I can't paint or draw. I'm not funny or a good actor. And I'm a long way from the smartest person in this room. The only thing that I can ever say that I've ever been particularly good at is borrowing brilliance. I'm not ashamed to say it. I don't think anyone else should either. There's no shame in borrowing brilliance. Learning what the greatest talents have done and said, and then trying your best to emulate them is a pretty damn good way to go. I've learned what I'm not good at, but with proper credit and citation, brilliance is open to be borrowed, and it can take you a pretty long way. This is what we like to call fair use, and it's very legal and even encouraged technique to keep in your repertoire. The last thing I'd like to lecture you about today is the ability to take your own advice. The last bit I'm going to give to you is to keep it short. This goes for just about everything. There are very few things in life that are better in the long form. Shorter sentences are stronger. Short films and songs, when done well, actually usually pack a little more punch. It's nearly 100% true for speeches. Just about every other speaker is going to tell you that you've got to hold on fast to your long-term goals, and that you should always keep reaching for your dreams. And this is probably true in the most deepest and most metaphysical sense. But if you're not careful and you spend too much time focusing on those faraway dreams and goals, you're almost certainly going to miss the most interesting and inspirational things that are happening in the short term. Most of the best things that ever happen are usually kind of a surprise and come up when you least expect them. It's great and important to have these long-term goals, but be really careful to pay attention to all the small things that happen every single day and the interesting things that catch the corner of your eye while you're looking at something else. I just want to say, maybe you will want to have those big long-term dreams, but really you want to focus on the short-term goals. You don't want to miss the great things happening right in front of you because you're spending too much time staring off into the distance. Now, this is in no way meant to diminish the incredible long-term accomplishment that you've just achieved. You've graduated from IPR. That is quite the big deal. You've shown great resiliency in doing so. Congratulations. Now I'm going to take my own advice and keeping it short. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk to you today. And I know you're going to do great. We'll see you out there.
Hello, everybody. And my name is Trey Woodley. I'm the Associate Campus Director here at IPR, and it is my honor now to announce the graduates of fall and summer 2020. So with an Associates of Applied Science in Audio Production and Engineering, Matthew Cole. Tyler Hackbarth. Jeremy Nelson, cum laude. Madison Petrie, cum laude. Christian Shane, cum laude. Samuel Sayas. Jake England. Daniel Julian,
summa cum laude.
Logan Chorus, with dual degrees in audio production and engineering and live sound and show production, Alyssa Espinosa.
Yeah. Woo.
Robert Erdman, magna cum laude.
With an Associate of Applied Science in Digital Video and Media Production, Cole Bellinger. And with a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Digital Video and Media Production, Maria Barr. Noah Bugs, magna. Jackson Grosskreitz, cum laude. Maxwell Kilsdonk. Zachary Labar. Ivan Sovostiano, cum laude. And Nicholas Spreeman, cum laude. And now my favorite part. As a duly authorized representative of the Minnesota Office of Higher Education and Associate Campus Director at the Institute of Production and Recording, I hereby confer upon you the degrees Associate of Applied Science in your respective programs. And again, as the duly authorized representative of the Minnesota Office of Higher Education and the Associate Campus Director at IPR, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts in Digital Video and Media Production. It is now official. Your graduates. Change your tassel from the right to the left on your cap.
Woo-hoo! Congratulations! Woo!
The honor of valedictorian is based on academic ranking. The student with the highest GPA is awarded the honor of representing their class as the valedictorian. IPR names a valedictorian for both the Associate of Applied Science degree and for the Bachelor's of Fine Arts. In this combined and summer 2020 graduation, we have 4 students who have achieved this honor. I'd like to introduce the summer 2020 and the fall 2020 valedictorians and ask them to say a few words. Jackson Grosskreutz earned his Bachelor's of Fine Arts in the summer of 2020. Dan Juliet earned his Associates of Applied Science in the summer of 2020. Noah Bugs earned his BFA in the fall of 2020. And Robert Erdman earned his associate degree in the fall of 2020. Congratulations to all 4 of you. Jackson, would you like to speak first?
Oh boy, it says the host has spotlighted you for everyone. Yikes. Anyway, 1, 2, 7. A method of counting that always seems to help me start a speech. Out of all the directions I could have chosen, the intros I wrote and rewrote, I decided to start out like that, partly to catch you off guard, partly to remind you that life is full of surprises. But more on that later. Having received the honor of valedictorian, I've been given just a few moments to speak to you, and I'd like to make the most of it. While many of us likely entered college foreseeing ourselves eventually walking up to receive our diplomas in person, we instead find ourselves viewing graduation from a very different angle. For we sit at home in a place of familiarity rather than in the large room filled with family and friends. One where we look ahead rather than around to see our fellow graduates. So take a moment to enjoy it. There are few such moments in life like this we can find so clearly defined. This clear closing of one chapter opens a new one, just in time for the coming of a new year. While it may not be as traditional as past graduations, to me, it almost feels a little fitting, given many of us have chosen a more creative path in life, starting with our choice of college. As many of you may recall when touring IPR that first time, it's a little different from other colleges. Here, staff and instructors know you personally and the achievements we've accomplished along the way. Our degrees earned through our hard work, patience, and a pandemic to the likes that hasn't been seen since 1918, we are truly living in extraordinary times. Nonetheless, while this year is definitely one for the history books, don't let this pandemic drag you down. You see, opportunity has a weird way of surfacing in life. And as some of you have found or will soon find, it often appears suddenly. While this pandemic has definitely had its shares in creating shutdowns, it has also been one to create new opportunities. The world around us is changing, and with it, our way of conducting business. Now more than ever, companies are turning to digital media to conduct that business. Whether you are the person behind the camera, in the studio, or mixing it all live on the board, from conference calls to virtual ceremonies and product reveals, now more than ever, we have the chance and skill sets to help the world adapt. So when the opportunity arises, don't be so afraid to take that next leap. Follow your passions, do what you enjoy. We've worked hard for it. But with that new sense of independence and pride, never be afraid to fall back on friends and family when you need a hand. I imagine we've all had a little help in getting to where we are today. I know since I finished classes back in September, I have found myself becoming busier with work. But along the way, I was also given a piece of advice that has stuck with me. As you get caught up in the craziness of the world and the sporadic hours this industry provides, and yes, I know nobody understands why you don't always know your work schedule, don't forget to stop and smell the roses. It's a crazy world out there. And when we get so busy, we sometimes forget to enjoy it. I started off this speech by counting 1, 2, 7. It was the same way my grandfather would count to me every day as I stopped after school to help him out of this chair. Well, he's no longer with us. I'd like to think he'd laugh at my little Easter eggs, as I call them, a short series of numbers I've ever so carefully hidden across my video work, or in this case, included in a graduation speech. It has become my way of keeping people on their toes, just as my grandfather had done for me. Life is truly full of surprises, so don't be afraid to search them out. So wherever the road may take you from here, I wish you all the best of luck and a congratulations. Until we meet again some sunny day.
Yes, yes.
Dan, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, I just want to say how much I enjoyed my time at IPR. If you know me, I'm kind of like one note most of the time, but I did actually have a very good time. I mean, we were learning some awesome stuff, but also you're all great people, the teachers, the students, and the staff. Thank you. I know the last few quarters have been weird, but I kind of treat it as like technical difficulties. That's what we're trained to figure out. So it's all the same, and I think that'll serve us well going forward. Um, to that end, I want to give my appreciation to the staff at IPR. That was an impossible task you're given to keep things moving, but you did great. Thank you. And then to all the grads, congratulations. Well done. Thanks.
Congratulations.
Noah, are you ready to speak as well?
Yep, I'm ready to go. All right, thank you. First off, thank you to all the amazing staff at IPR who got us here today. All your hard work is shown in the talented graduates who made it here. Secondly, congratulations, graduates. Can you believe we did it? Could you picture yourself here, quarter one? Did it all seem possible during your first finals week? Well done. Each and every one of us has grown in our time here, honing our skills in our chosen crafts, all the late nights in the studios and long days on set. You should be proud of your accomplishments here. With that being said, do you know what you want to do when you grow up? Do you have the next 10 years of your life mapped out already? If not, don't worry about it. Although the road ahead will definitely have its challenges, always believe in yourself, always follow your passions, and just don't give up. As Teddy Roosevelt once said, believe you can, and you're halfway there. So don't be afraid to work on that next song. Start pre-production on your newest short film. Say yes to working with a talented young band, and agree to do post-production on that new low-budget web series. Your greatest opportunity could be just down the road and out of sight. With that in mind, on behalf of all of us here, we would like to thank the people who helped us to the finish line. Parents, spouses, siblings, teachers, and friends. You know who you are. Thank you. And finally, if I could take a brief moment, I would like to thank the people in my life. A very special thank you to my wonderful parents, who I wouldn't have been able to get through this without them. My brothers and sisters who have always been there to support me and get me through. My beautiful girlfriend who's been a rock many times. My friends and teachers, you've all been critical in getting me here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Noah.
Great, Noah.
All right, Mr. Erdman, take us home.
Thanks, Trey. 2020 has been a strange year, to say the least. Adapting to the Zoom format has not been simple, but the teachers and administrative staff have done a lot to make things easier. I'd like to thank Colt Lieb for helping me build a class schedule compatible with working full-time, Trey, Nathan, and Stacy for always being there to help, John States, Kevin Bowe, Craig Grossman, Luke Harper, and Frank Foster Bolton for always being so easy to work with and making class interesting, Kelsey Geiger, Diana Welter, Justin DeLeon for providing unique insights to the industry, Portia Heller, Nell Morningstar, and Rich Manick for always being willing to work with me on writing assignments. And most of all, I'd like to thank Peter Greenland for absolutely everything he does, and my parents for all their support for the last 2 years. It's been a wild ride.
All right, at this point, I want to announce our Summer 2020 and Fall 2020 Icon Award winners. The Icon Award recipients at IPR are selected by faculty and program leadership. Students aren't chosen on the basis of their GPAs, but for their commitment, work ethic, and leadership, both in and out of the classroom. I should note, the awards aren't necessarily given in each program or even at every graduation, as the students who are named IPR icons must be truly exceptional. Now I'd like to introduce Andrew Hunt, lead instructor for the Digital Video and Media Production Program, who will give out our first 2 Icon Awards tonight.
All right. Before that, just some Zoom awards. Best holiday background, Madison. Best tiny guitar in the background, Jeremy. Best balloons, Nick, you almost had it, Max, but you only had one color balloon. Nick, you had several. Best lighting, Jackson. Best depth of field, Max, that's where you got it. Best black and white landscape photograph in the background of a man holding a surfboard on the beach. Ivan, congratulations. Best hair, Maria, and best baby, a tie between Alyssa and Zach Labar. All right, so let's get started here. This has been this one's been really tough because I've been with both these groups for a few years, and the one thing that and I'm not just saying this or just blowing smoke. I could have literally given this award to anybody in the group, and the reason I say this is because everybody grew so much while they were here. Half of you were incredibly awkward when you walked in the door, and then you're leaving as a leader, which makes me incredibly proud to see you guys grow. But sadly, I have to pick two people. And but I will say this is that I couldn't be more proud of the projects that you guys are coming out of the door with, the hard work that you've done, the dedication, the time that we've spent in the classroom and out of the classroom and on film sets. Again, couldn't be more proud of you guys. So let's jump in with the Summer Icon Award. When this person first came in the door, they sat in the back of the classroom. They were incredibly quiet, always chewing their nails, always awkward. I say this lovingly, so and first came in the door as kind of a follower, and then as they, each semester you saw them stepping up and taking more of a leadership role. Until finally the last couple quarters that they have been here, they are a full-fledged leader, and not just that, but also a mentor, teaching other students the ropes and being very patient, and most importantly, being incredibly kind. There's a reason why everybody wants to work with Jackson, is because he is a sweet, caring kid who is, just somebody that I enjoy picking on, as well as watching his material and getting a real big kick out of just watching him grow. And so this summer Icon Award, Jackson, I practically live here, so stop by any time and pick it up. Goes to Mr. Jackson.
Woo! Jackson!
Yes,
Yes!
All right. Well, this next student, and which I got to tell this next student, thanks for the $500. It made the icon decision really easy for me to choose. No, this next student, this next group, the winter group, again, incredibly tough because Mr. Spreeman, Maria, Noah, Max, Zach Labar, Colton. I can't be more proud of what you guys did. And, I've probably pulled you aside at some point in time and told you how impressed I was with where you started and where you're headed, and just how much, just how proud I am. But this one particular student, if there was one word to describe him, it would be discipline. If there was another word to describe him, it would be stubborn. And I say stubborn not as a negative, but as a positive. Ivan is probably one of the most serious and dedicated students I have ever taught. From day one, he came in the door and he was serious. There was no messing around, he knew this was a cool industry. But he really was incredibly dedicated and just disciplined. There was never a deadline he missed. Even when I would forget about deadlines, he would remind me. The homework assignments were always done well. And if I critiqued his homework, he would defend it. And not in a defense where he was making excuses, that there was always a point of view that he had in everything that he did. And if I was right, he would agree with me. But if I was wrong, I would tip my hat and go, no, keep doing what you're doing. So I couldn't be more proud to give the Icon Award for Winter to Mr. Ivan Silvestoniov. I
Oh
screwed
no.
that. I screwed that
Almost.
up. But congratulations, Ivan. Congrats. All right, and then finally, and then I'll pass this off to Mr. Chris. Finally, I just say this to all you guys. You know, this Zoom stuff sucks, and so does COVID. But the one thing that you guys have to look forward to is this whole industry's changing, and you are right there at the pinnacle and the cusp. So there's a lot of old farts like myself and Luke, and we're still trying to figure this all out, and you guys are just coming into this world. So do not think of this as something negative. Think of it as that we're all back to ground zero here, and it's time to get started and get to work. So here we go. I'm going to be then passing this off for the Icon Award to Mr. Christopher Blood, the lead instructor of APE.
Hello, everybody. Congratulations. First of all, I just want to say that I'm really proud of everyone here. So honored to be able to work with you guys and see you all grow into working professionals. It's awesome, and I can't wait to see where you guys are going to go. So please make sure that you keep in touch with all of us and let us know how you're doing. And also keep in mind that we're now all peers as well. So we want to work together and let's grow together for the rest of our lives. So great job. But I do want to talk a little bit about the Icon Award. Andy mentioned a lot of great things. I agree with all of what he said. Icon students are not only great students, but they have the ability to go above and beyond in the classroom, and just whenever something's needed, they're the ones that just tend to step up without even being asked. They just jump right in. And that is such a good quality for a working leader professional. So we love to see that. And, you know, also Icon students are just, they lead other students. The other students in the class tend to look at this person and go, I'm not sure, how should we do this? Oh, that person's doing it this way. Let's go ahead. Let's do it that way. And that's an amazing quality to be able to have. And also just dependable and just great skills from that standpoint. And all of you are showing this from time to time, but these Icon students that we're going to talk about do this fairly regularly. And hopefully they're able to show you the way to become an Icon in the industry as well. So we have two of them tonight. And the first one that we have here, I have to say, when I first met this person, I have a different opinion. I had a different opinion right away. This person was really quiet and very reserved, and I didn't know what to think about this, how this person was going to fit into this environment of working with people and recording records and projects. And all of a sudden, I went to this person and said, hey, what do you think about this? And then boom, I instantly saw the qualities that I was just talking about. They were just sitting back, reserved, but ready to go, and had an opinion and was able to really reach out and jump ahead and go, yep, this is what we need to do. This is what I think. And I also saw students really look at this person and understand that if they didn't know something, this person really had those skills to be able to lead them as well. So the first person that we're going to talk about here, or I just talked about, is Daniel Juliet. I don't know if you can see that. Congratulations, Dan.
Thank
you.
Yay.
The second person that we're going to talk about is a little different. Not a little different personality, which is great. You all have unique personalities. This person, again, would step up anytime I needed something, anytime anybody needed something around, if it was just going to get something or making sure that everybody was on task and moving forward, but also having some great projects to demonstrate and show other people or other students. And, the first person to step up and lead. And that's a great quality to have. Another really great thing about this person is I'm so happy that his dad was a great Pearl Jam fan. So this person is Jeremy Nelson. That's a little joke between us, but Jeremy spoke in class today. Thank you, Jeremy. Good job.
Well, thank you, everybody. What an amazing evening of celebrating your success. Again, thank you to everyone who put this together. Thank you to all of our speakers. Again, congratulations to each of you, and a special congratulations to our valedictorians and Icon Award recipients. We are so proud of each and every one of you. As we come to a close on this evening and this chapter of your life, I'd like to leave you with just a few brief words. One day, you're going to look back on this time in your life, and you're going to have all sorts of feelings. You may be glad it's over. You may long to be back in the classroom. You may miss your friends. You may miss the faculty you learned from. Though the one thing I hope you never feel is regret. You've made a choice to follow your passion and expand how you impact the world. I hope each of you leave with a sense of purpose and a sense of pride in what you've done. You will leave IPR a changed person, and you will leave IPR changed because you were here. We're going to miss all of you, and we're going to miss the talent that you brought to our community. But know that we're always here, cheering you on and celebrating your success. And now it's time for you to go out into this crazy world and make your mark on it. From all of us here at IPR, we wish you the greatest of success in your future careers. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for this evening. And now go out and celebrate. I think somebody took a line out.